Hello, this is Arthur again, and today I have this 2018 BMW 750i with 105,000 miles, and it is in very nice condition. It's a very well taken care of car. I worked on this car one time before, not that long ago. I did a radiator replacement on it, and today it is here because it has a sagging air suspension. And I'm going to show you which part is the problem. I'm going to show you the part, and then I'm going to show you the replacement process that goes to fixing this issue on this car. Alright,
so by just looking at the side of a car, you can tell that the front is sitting really low. It's only the passenger side, the driver's side actually is okay, is not sinking in. So we're going to replace only this side this time. It would be good to replace both fronts at the same time, but these parts are really expensive and we're probably going to do the other one not that long after, but not today. So let me show you the part that I have. This is the part I have for it. It's new from a dealer. It is around $2,500, so it is pretty pricey. I have used them before. This is a part number for it, for the right side. And I've used aftermarket ones before and they didn't last at all. I had one that I changed and it went bad the same day pretty much. So I would not recommend any aftermarket ones unless they're a very reputable brand, maybe. But I haven't really seen any quality ones for sale. So original one is the way to go with these cars while they're pretty new still. Okay, let's go see what's going on. Okay, I did let the car idle for a few seconds and it did go up the front, so I can lift up the car. At this point it'll be easier for me to jack it up. Now I'm gonna see over here, I have to remove this panel over here to be able to access the top mount bolts. A few clips here. There's a battery over here, which we don't need to do anything with. A little clip right here. And then this pulls it right out. There's 3 E12s right here. They hold the strut up, but I'm not going to remove them yet. I'm going to lift up the car off of the lift and then remove the wheel. And once I do all that, then I'll remove this. Next, I'm going to have to disconnect this upper control arm. I'm going to spray some PB Blaster penetrating fluid in here a little bit to help me out to disconnect this. This is a E14 and a 14 millimeter. Sometimes these can be kind of stuck, but actually this one is pretty loose. Pull the bolt out and pull the ball joint out as well. Might need a little bit of tapping. There you go. Now this is disconnected. So to support it, I have a jack stand just to help out a little bit, so you won't be pulling on anything. Right there. Next, I'm going to remove this bolt that is on the bottom of a strut mount. I'm going to spray some PB Blaster on it as well. So this one is probably not needed, but I'm going to do it anyway. This one is a 21 millimeter, the nut, and then 18 millimeter bolt from the other side. Next, I'm going to disconnect the air line. It's a 10 millimeter. When I raised up the car, I noticed that all the air escaped from here. This has some kind of a crack in the bag or something like that, and it just comes off as you raise the car up, so you don't have to disconnect anything other than the line. Next is going to be this harness on the side of the air strut. I'm gonna use a little tool, pick tool, to be able to undo this. Kind of lift it up gently from here. Pops right out. Second one. And it's loose. There's this holder that holds the wire in place. Just gonna guide it out from here and then from here. Okay, so the only thing we need to do from the bottom is disconnect the sway bar link, which is another 18. I'm going to break it loose first. I have a deep socket, 18 millimeter. There we go. Next, I'm going to have to counter hold it with a T40 and then turn it back. Next, I'm going to remove the 3 E12s that are on top. Can try to hold the strut to guide it from my arm. Okay, at this point I just remove the sway bar link from the strut, and then I should be able to pull the strut right out. I'm going to give it a little room over here. And it slides right out. Here's the old strut removed. You can't really see anything physically wrong with it, as it still works technically, but it just leaks out. So what happens is the membrane inside, it develops like some cracks and it starts leaking and it fails, so you have to replace it. That's the fix. Okay, let's install the new one. Here I have the new strut, and the new one does come with the hardware for the line. So I'm going to remove the old one from here, pull it off, and then once I have this on, I'll push the line onto the strut. Okay, so I'm gonna fit it in the same way I removed it from this side. I have to move this around a little bit. Give me some room. Okay, it does go in pretty easy, as these ones are a little bit short since they don't have spring on them. They only extend when there's air in there, so there's no air in there, so it's not really hanging onto anything. So I have the strut up in here. I'm going to lift up the whole brake and knuckle with control arms a little bit to give me a little bit of support where it holds this up so I can put the bolts back in. Like this. And then once I put this up so I can have it kind of sitting up, it'll be easier for me to line up the bolts. I do have the strut lined up. I'm going to go up and try to put in the bolts while holding this up from here. It's not very easy to do just with one person, but you kind of have to move it around until you find the hole. And once you get a few threads in, you should be holding it. Now next I'm going to try to put in the upper control arm ball joint into the top of the knuckle. I'm going to wipe a little bit here. Make sure this is clean. I will spray some more PB Blaster on it to let it go through easier. This one is kind of tricky to do, is you have to make sure it doesn't slide off of your stand.
Might need a little persuasion. Such. But now I can already release it. It says it is holding up. I can tighten that already as this is a ball joint. Next, I'm going to put this 80mm bolt that goes under the shock. So I'm going to lift up the whole assembly a little bit and fit it through. There you go. This one has to be tightened once the car is leveled, as this is a bushing over here and we can't damage it. Next, I'm going to connect the line. I'm going to pull this one back a little bit, and then there's a locking ring right here. I'm going to break this off or pull it off using pliers. There we go, and then this one just pulls out, and then you can actually feed in the line into the strut and it will lock. There you go. And then you do have this little clips over here that comes with a new strut, and you gotta put in the line through it. There you go. Next, I'm going to fit in this connector wire. It goes from here. There are a few mounts over here that it's supposed to hang on to right here. One. Then I have to connect the harness. There are a few protective covers on the strut. You pull those out. It's actually only one. So just flip this in, make sure it clicks in. 1, 2. There you go, this is in. So for the sway bar link, it's kind of hard to line this one up on this side as the other wheel is hanging down. So I'm going to lower the car slightly where the wheel is touching the top of the lift, and it will help just release some of the tension from the sway bar, and this will go in. Okay, that should be enough for me to fit this through and tighten it. Without doing that, it's pretty much impossible to push this sway bar up, as it's pretty thick sway bar and it doesn't really want to move. I'm going to tighten this bolt. This nut, this one you can tighten it anytime. The car doesn't have to be leveled, as it's a ball joint as well. Next, I'm going to put the wheel back on and I'm gonna start the car. But first I need to lift up the car a little bit to be able to fit in the wheel. Next, I'm going to lower the car a little bit where it touches the lift, but it's not completely down, as there's no air in the strut and I don't want to damage it by doing that. Okay, I lowered the car. Now I'm gonna go ahead and start it. Sometimes after replacing the strut you need to clear all the codes. We're going to see how it goes. I'm going to check the codes, but let's see if it raises up or no. Okay, I think the car started to raise up. Okay, now I can remove my jack from under it, the bridge jack on the lift as it's lifting up.
Okay, I did have to connect the scanner because the car is up, but it's not really responding to the up and down function. So I'm going to clear all the codes that are in there and then restart the car and then see if it'll adjust.
Okay, so I did have to connect the scanner. I have a Autel 906 and I was able to clear the codes, and as well as I had to manually select and deselect the height as it was sitting a little too high, and then once I did that, the car leveled out and it is fine now. Next I'm going to raise it up and tighten up that bushing on the bottom of the strut, and that should be it. And you lock it in place. And that's it. I also tightened these 3 12s. Now I'm going to put this cover back on here. So it just simply sits on this, and there's 2 clips. Okay, that's about it for this job. The main thing I would say is different from other BMWs is the previous generation to this different 7 Series that has, again, electronic damping control on it. You do have to code the struts to the car if you replace them, and these you don't. You just have to go with a scanner, and you do have to adjust the height after. Not technically, you don't put in the levels of the height, but you do readjust the height as of selecting high and low, and it should correct itself afterwards. So hopefully you found this video helpful. Please comment, like, and subscribe. There are more videos to come. Thank you.